The Just So Stories by Rudyard Kipling. The Crab Who Played with the Sea. Part 2. You will recall, O best beloved, that the eldest magician had gone to sea, accompanied by the man and his little daughter, to find out who was causing the sea to behave so badly. And they discovered that it was due to the play of Pau-Amar, the great crab. And the eldest magician called to Pau-Amar and said, I cannot make you play the play you were meant to play, Pau-Amar, but if you are not afraid, come up, and we will talk about it. I am not afraid, said Pau-Amar, and he rose up to the top of the sea in the moonlight. There was nobody in the world so big as Pau-Amar, for he was the king crab of all crabs, not a common crab, but a king crab. One side of his great shell touched the beach at Sarawak, the other touched the beach at Pahang, and he was taller than the smoke of 3 volcanoes. As he rose up through the branches of the wonderful tree, he tore off one of the great twin fruits, the magic double-kerneled nuts that make people young, and the little girl-daughter saw it bobbing alongside the canoe, and pulled it in, and began to pick out the soft eyes of it with her little golden scissors. Now, said the magician, make a magic, Pau-Amar, to show that you are really important. Pau-Amar rolled his eyes and waved his legs, but he could only stir up the sea because, though he was a king crab, he was nothing more than a crab, and the eldest magician laughed. You are not so important after all, Pau-Amar, he said. Now let me try. And he made a magic with his left hand, with just the little finger of his left hand. And lo and behold, best beloved, Pau-Amar's hard blue-green-black shell fell off him as a husk falls off a coconut, and Pau-Amar was left all soft, soft as the little crabs that you sometimes find on the beach, best beloved. Indeed, you are very important, said the eldest magician. Shall I ask the man here to cut you with kris? Shall I send for Raja Mayong Kaban, the king of the elephants, to pierce you with his tusks? Or shall I call Raja Abdullah, the king of the crocodiles, to bite you? And Pau-Amar said, I am ashamed. Give me back my hard shell, and let me go back to Pusat Tasek, and I will only stir out once a day and once a night to get my food. And the eldest magician said, No, Pau-Amar, I will not give you back your shell, for you will grow bigger and prouder and stronger, and perhaps you will forget your promise, and you will play with the sea once more. Then Pau-Amar said, What shall I do? I am so big that I can only hide in Pusat Tasek, and if I go anywhere else, all soft as I am now, the sharks and dogfish will eat me. And if I go to Pusat Tasek, all soft as I am now, though I may be safe, I can never stir out to get my food, and I shall die. Then he waved his legs and lamented. Listen, Pau-Amar, said the eldest magician. I cannot make you play the play you were meant to play, because you escaped me at the very beginning. But if you choose, I can make every stone and every hole and every bunch of weed in all the seas a safe Pusat Tasek for you and your children, for always. Then Pau-Amar said, That is good, but I do not choose yet. Look, there is that man who talked to you at the very beginning. If he had not taken up your attention, I should not have grown tired of waiting and run away, and all this would never have happened. What will he do for me? And the man said, If you choose, I will make a magic so that both the deep water and the dry ground will be a home for you and your children, so that you shall be able to hide both on the land and in the sea. And Pau-Amar said, I do not choose yet. Look, there is that girl who saw me running away at the very beginning. If she had spoken then, the eldest magician would have called me back, and all this would never have happened. What will she do for me? And the little girl-daughter said, This is a good nut that I am eating. If you choose, I will make a magic, and I will give you this pair of scissors, very sharp and strong, so that you and your children can eat coconuts like this all day long when you come up from the sea to the land. Or you can dig a Pusat Tasek for yourself with the scissors that belong to you when there is no stone or hole nearby. And when the earth is too hard, by the help of these scissors, you can run up a tree. And Pau-Amar said, I do not choose yet, for all soft as I am, these gifts would not help me. Give me back my shell, O eldest magician, and then I will play your play. And the eldest magician said, I will give it back, Pau Amar, for 11 months of the year. But on the 12th month of every year it shall grow soft again, to remind you and all your children that I can make magics, and to keep you humble, Pau Amar, for I see that if you can run both under the water and on land, you will grow too bold, and if you can climb trees and crack nuts and dig holes with your scissors, you will grow too greedy, Pau Amar. Then Pau Amar thought a little and said, I have made my choice. I will take all the gifts. And then the eldest magician made a magic with his right hand, with all 5 fingers of his right hand. And lo and behold, best beloved, Pau Amar grew smaller and smaller and smaller, till at last there was only a little green crab swimming in the water alongside the canoe, crying in a very small voice, Give me the scissors! And the little girl-daughter picked him up in the palm of her little brown hand, and sat him in the bottom of the canoe, and gave him her scissors, and he waved them in his little arms, and opened them, and shut them, and snapped them, and said, I can eat nuts, I can crack shells, I can dig holes, I can climb trees, I can breathe in the dry air, and I can find a safe pusat under every stone. I did not know I was so important. Kun? Paya kun, said the eldest magician, and he laughed and gave him his blessing. And little Pau Amar scuttled over the side of the canoe into the water, and he was so tiny that he could have hidden under the shadow of a dry leaf on land or of a dead shell at the bottom of the sea. Was that well done? Said the magician. Yes, said the man, but now we must go back to Perak, and that is a weary way to paddle. If we had waited till Pau Amar had gone out of Pusat and come home, the water would have carried us there by itself. You are lazy, said the eldest magician, so your children shall be lazy. They shall be the laziest people in the world. They shall be called the Malaysi, the lazy people. And he held up his finger to the moon and said, O fisherman, here is the man too lazy to row home. Pull his canoe home with your line, fisherman. No, said the man. If I am to be lazy all my days, let the sea work for me twice a day forever. That will save paddling. And the eldest magician laughed and said, Paya kun. That is right. And the rat of the moon stopped biting the line, and the fisherman let his line down till it touched the sea, and he pulled the whole deep sea along, past the island of Bintang, past Singapore, past Malacca, past Selangor, till the canoe whirled into the mouth of the Perak River again. Kun, said the fisherman of the moon. Paya kun, said the eldest magician. See now that you pull the sea twice a day and twice a night forever, so that the Malaysi fisherman may be saved paddling. But be careful not to do it too hard, or I shall make a magic on you as I did to Pau Amar. Then they all went up the Perak River and went to bed, best beloved. Now, listen and attend. From that day to this, the moon has always pulled the sea up and down and made what we call the tides. Sometimes the fisher of the sea pulls a little too hard, and then we get spring tides. And sometimes he pulls a little too softly, and then we get what are called neap tides. But nearly always he is careful, because of the eldest magician. And Pau Amar, you can see when you go to the beach how all Pau Amar's babies make little pusat for themselves under every stone and bunch of weed on the sands. You can see them waving their little scissors, and in some parts of the world they truly live on the dry land and run up the palm trees and eat cocoa nuts, exactly as the girl-daughter promised. But once a year, all Pau Amars must shake off their hard armour and be soft to remind them of what the eldest magician could do. And so it isn't fair to kill or hunt Pau Amar babies just because old Pau Amar was stupidly rude a very long time ago. Oh yes, and Pau Amar babies hate being taken out of their little pusat and brought home in pickle bottles. That is why they nip you with their scissors. And it serves you right.